camera. Is that what I'm? Okay, I just want to make sure I'm here, bro.
You good now?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, let's get it, bro.
All right. You ready? You ready for this?
Hello, audience.
CouchPotatoGM.com is the website. Couch Potato General Manager is the YouTube channel. You know it because you are on it. CPGM Juice, CPGM Drew, CPGM Headley. We are here. We are here to talk about the 2021 storylines going into the NFL season. We're in the training camp now, starting to get it in there, and barring any injury, knock on wood, hit your prayers in the morning, every morning, get on your knees, make sure your team isn't injured. But we're here to talk about the I almost called them the Miami football Dolphins, bro. I just something wrong with me, bro. I don't know what I be doing, but
so like to interject football in that.
The Miami Dolphins. My storyline for this team, I know the low-hanging fruit obviously is the quarterback position, but I try not to go there, and I'm not going to go down. I'm a CPGM Headley, I think, is going to go there. But for me, I would say Tua is the chef, and I'm going to say what's the seasoning? What's the seasoning? What are we putting in the pot to create the cauldron in the meal? Yeah, adobo, bro. Adobo. Yeah, bro. When I was a kid, I used to call it a doobie or something. It was bad. With the red top, the weapons. It's about the weapons for this football team. Do they have enough? Is there enough there for Tua to? Because I always say it. For number one, you got to protect your quarterback. Number two, you got to have the weapons to evaluate that quarterback to see what he can do, right? So for me, did this team do enough? I know they added Jalen Waddle. You got Devontae Parker. You got Mike Gesicki. But do they have enough juice? Do they have enough seasoning? Do they have enough adobo? Do they have enough pepper? Do they have enough paprika? Do they have enough onion powder, garlic powder, whatever you throwing in they have enough of that so that, Tua can go in there and chef it up, or we coming to the table with steak with no salt and no pepper on it? It's just,
Yeah.
Is that, let me know in the comment section if that's how you eat your steak with no salt, no pepper.
Or you put ketchup on it.
That was an interesting point, because I think it's all going to depend on, are those seasonings, those adobos, all of that, are they going to be on a football field? Because you got Jalen Waddle, he has his injuries in Alabama, Will Fuller, suspension, injuries, whatever it is, and Devontae Parker's been hurting his career also. So I think they have it. If they're all healthy, that's an excellent receiving staff. Tua, his pitch and catch, so he could give them the layup. So, but if they're not on the field, man, it's like it's going to be tougher, man, because then you got to rely on your backups, your bench. So I think that's the biggest question with your storyline. My storyline is Tua, and it goes together well again, because those weapons and stuff like that, Tua, he has to make the right decisions. You have to make it easy for him. Can he get to his second, third, fourth reads? When it's perfect, everything's nice, he can hit his number one spot, get the ball to his receiver, but can he read the field, decipher?
Once again, both of your points are poignant, and Headley, of course, the success of this season is based on Tua's development, and the reports coming out of Miami training camp, I think initially, it was some rust that he was kind of knocking off, so kind of worked through it. And then, of course, he's picked it up in recent days, not turning the football over, showing great touch and anticipation with his throws to all those new weapons that they have in Miami. Me, I'm going to keep it real boring. Because those are poignant items that you guys have identified. Of course, you got to have great play from the most important position, right? And then, of course, in order for that position to be successful, you got to have guys on the perimeter who can make plays. But at the end of the day, is that young offensive line going to be able to keep Tua, who also has had his injuries, upright? You got a young Austin Jackson. Solomon Kinley, we obviously like quite a bit. They've moved Robert Hunt from tackle into guard because they decided that was the more natural position for him, and they moved Eric Flowers out, sending him away, even though he had found a home at guard. So now you're kind of shuffling the deck a little bit here. Is that young group going to gel? I think there's a lot of talent along that offensive line. I think they certainly have the aptitude, but as a young group, when it comes to dealing with the likes of a Chris Jones or any of those dominant pass rushers or down lines, are they going to be able to hold up? Are they going to be able to keep Tua clean? You mentioned, Headley, when Tua's clean, it is the ball doesn't touch the ground when he's clean.
Yeah.
Right.
The ball simply doesn't touch the ground when he's clean. So are they going to be able to, again, keep him protected and then, of course, open up rushing lanes for the backs?
It's on that Dolphins offense, man. Everything together, just the receivers being healthy, Tua progressing in the second year and keeping them protected with the offensive line. So, a lot of these offensive players got to step up this year.
Just looking at the roster there, and just one of the biggest concerns in terms of offense outside of what we just stated was the running back position. There's usually on every team you can at least name a running back like, yeah, that guy, that's
yeah.
I don't know if you can say that about the Dolphins, man. It just kind of,
you know what I mean? I sneaky like their running backs. I sneaky like that Gaskin Ahmed combination. I think Gaskin showed a lot last year.
He did.
He came in, he thought he was gonna be a change of pace type of guy, but he showed a lot to me. So they still need that guy. You're right. But I think they sneaky good, man. Those two guys.
Of course, they're always going to draw the comparisons with Brian Flores coming from the Belichick tree in terms of Miami and them operating in some ways like the Patriots. You could tell from how they approach the draft and that late round capital that they invested at running back. It's a committee approach, right? So it was nice to see that out of Gaskin and Ahmed. I thought those guys had a well-rounded game. They needed the thumper, so they bring in Jared Dokes. They added Malcolm Brown to bolster their pass protection and give them kind of a steady hand in terms of a third down back at times or a short yardage back. So I think they have all the skill set. It may not necessarily be in one package and one elite or upper echelon back, but I think as a group, as a stable, I think they have enough in the backfield as well. I'd agree with Headley from that perspective.
All right, Dolphin fan, hit us down in the comments section. Let us know how you feel about the video. What are your storylines? How do you feel about your team going into the 2021 season? Where do they fall in terms of the division? In terms of is this a team gonna finally make the playoff? They gonna bust that cherry? Let us know. Like, subscribe, comment.